Good morning. Welcome to Just for Today, a time of eclectic reading, sharing of perspectives, meditation, and prayer. I'm Reverend Rafe Ellis, Senior Minister and Spiritual Leader of the newly joined Centers for Spiritual Living Communities of Columbia and Greater Baltimore. Today is September 6th, and I apologize for the delay in starting. If you were on YouTube or Twitch, it started and then it stopped because for some reason I was getting a message that it was not live on Facebook, so I had to finish it and then restart it. Techno gremlins hard at work. So this morning I'm reading from The Spiritual Law of Cause and Effect, The Inner Mechanics of Mind, Law, and Divine Intelligence by Reverend Willow Frost. And I opened it up to page 39, and my eyes landed on the last full paragraph on that page. And this is what it offers us. Religious science also embraces an inclusive theology. It acknowledges the truth present in all faith traditions and honors the unique paths that lead individuals to divine understanding. It is not a religion of conversion, but of convergence, where East meets West, science meets spirit, and ancient wisdom meets modern insight. The language may differ, but the essence remains the same. All life is sacred, interconnected, and guided by a universal law of cause and effect. That pretty much sums it up, doesn't it? I love this paragraph. It's the first time I'm reading it, and I love it. I know one of the things in our society right now that has become a buzz issue is this whole, what's the word I want? Distortion of inclusion. And I'm sharing my perspective, and I invite you, if you're watching, to share your perspective. My perspective is that the pushback on inclusion is coming from various levels of awareness, of privilege, and more specifically, the potential or the real loss of privilege. Rather than inclusion being leaned into as an experience of a wholeness, it, by many people, is being experienced as a process of grief where they're losing something. And in the most specific terms of how we use language, yes, those that have been the dominant culture are losing dominance. They're losing supremacy. They're losing this idea of separation. And what is gained by releasing those things is so much more powerful. For me, I understand wholeness by starting with my physical body. 7 billion cells, all doing something different to express and maintain and do what it do as my physical body. And that just blows my mind. And when I understand that extrapolating the microcosm of my body to the macrocosm of creation, I get it. Right? There's one whole body of creation. And trying to exclude any part of that puts the body in dis-ease. Right? If my liver cells decide to go rogue and not communicate with the rest of my body, there's a whole processing system that is not going to work correctly. Right? And it's the same process with creation. If any element of it goes rogue, operates in separation, the whole body is negatively impacted. And so our invitation, continuous invitation, is to identify and heal all sense of separation. And I love this idea that, inclusion is where things meet, is convergence, right? Where things meet. And so am I brave enough? Am I, what's the word I want? Am I confident enough in my spiritual practice, in my spiritual beliefs, to participate in true convergence, where differing ideas meet in commonality, where science and spirituality meet, where East and West meet, where Republican and Democrat meet, right? Where supremacy and marginalized meet, so that we can actually identify the common threads, and in our convergence participate in a synthesis where something new is formed out of bringing two or more things together. That is my experience that Science of Mind offers. It offers a clarity, it offers a teaching that really invites me to question everything, even Science of Mind, right? To question everything, and then to listen deeply, not for the answers from my head, but for the answers from the essence of me, that infinite intelligence that we're born out of, to listen there for the answers. And then to continue that questioning excavation process when the answers that I receive from infinite intelligence as me are different than what my brain holds. And so then I get to allow for a convergence between the thoughts in my brain and the knowing of my soul, the activity of creation. It's a continuous process. So that is what came alive in me reading that. Anything that you would like to share? And I'll pause here for just a moment. Okay. So I'm not seeing any comments in the chat on any of the platforms. So I'm just going to read this one more time. Take us into a 5-minute meditative practice. It's just 5 minutes to be present with what is, to practice listening to that inner knower. And if it's clear that your head is the one doing all the chatter, just love it. Just be present with it. Because the more we try to push it away, the louder it gets. So this is a time to just practice. Religious science also embraces an inclusive theology. It recognizes the truth present in all faith traditions and honors the unique paths that lead individuals to divine understanding. It is not a religion of conversion, but of convergence, where East meets West, science meets spirit, and ancient wisdom meets modern insight. The language may differ, but the essence remains the same. All life is sacred, interconnected, and guided by a universal law of cause and effect. So let's take that into our 5-minute meditative practice. the breath of life, breathing life. I recognize this one power everywhere present. I recognize that this one power is the substance of all that is seen and unseen, all that is in form, all that surrounds form, all that is unformed. Infinite possibility expressed and yet to be expressed. It is that infinite substance that has no circumference, no limits, no edges. And so its very center must be everywhere present. No limits of time and space. And so all of creation is happening in one eternal moment of now. No past, no future, only present. This one substance, nameless, changeless. Changeless because it already is everything and infinite possibility. And so there is nothing for it to change into. An infinite possibility for it to express. Nameless because it cannot be limited by a name that is an idea, infinite. And I know that I am made out of this infinite, ever-present substance. More than made out of it, I am it in form, expressing itself as the individualization of Rafe Ellis. That I am an intentional, one-of-a-kind, never-to-be-repeated divine idea, a desire in creation itself to experience itself, to expand itself, expressing as me, and yet never separate from itself, never used up by the infiniteness of its creation, infiniteness of its expression, only expanded. And so I recognize that what is true of me and the truth of one whole, complete and perfect everything must be true of all. And so I claim and affirm that an awareness is arising within all of creation to see the interconnectedness, the wholeness of life. I speak my word claiming and affirming that within that awareness there is an openness and a curiosity to know the other cells in our body. A curiosity that opens to meet the divine self in the individualized self that we call others. A willingness to recognize that in every encounter, life is experiencing life. The infinite is experiencing the infinite. I claim and affirm that I live in the activity of recognition and kinship of one, that I live in awareness and an experience of the wholeness of creation, no longer willing to seek to separate myself, no longer willing to be fooled by behavior or ideology or the limitations of humanity's ignorance of connectedness. I choose to live in the wholeness of life. I choose to own that that choice comes with a responsibility to see and be the inner essence of the truth of my being in every situation, in every thought, even in the silence. To own and check and correct my thinking, bringing it into alignment with spiritual principle that recognizes itself as that connecting thread of truth in all. Knowing that as I do, as I participate in the healing of all that is within this individualized expression, I am participating in the healing of the whole, the body of creation. And I trust the law of cause and effect, that the activity of creation, the doer within creation, the creative process that simply receives and acts upon it, works the same for everybody, works with awareness and beyond awareness that it is even being used. It simply is the infinite activity where the substance is received and made manifest. And so I know that the words, beyond the words, the intention of this prayer, of the word spoken, has already been received in law, already been acted upon, and already is made so. Which calls me to live in that faith, to live the belief in what I don't yet see in this human realm until I do see it, to look for the evidence of it unfolding from a certainty that it's already there, which demands that I release all of the chatter in my brain that would negate what my heart has spoken. I release any thought in my awareness and that will come into my awareness that would in any way impede or diminish the full manifestation of wholeness, of unity, of the harmonious operation of one, of the healing of all sense of separation. I let it go. Ashe. Shalom. Aho. Amin. Amen. And so it is. Namaste.